Hi, welcome back. I don't really know where this episode is going to go. I was trying to wait for a quiet time, but it's a very loud evening. I was thinking about my very first memory ever in life. My first ever memory was of pain, physical pain. I don't know if it's because that memory was so vivid and distinct that it blocked out prior memories, or if that was just such a big deal that that's where my memories started. But for as long as I can remember having memories, my first memory is of me sitting at a table eating cereal, and my father was ironing on an ironing board next to me, and he set the iron down, and I was curious about it, and I reached out with my flat hand and touched the hot iron and burned my little hand. It hurt. It hurt. And he took care of it. I do remember that. I don't remember him being angry at me. That's the only memory I have of him ever. That's the only time that I can remember us together. And it was physically painful. And as I speak it out loud, because I don't know if I've ever done that before, it's hurtful. Because that man died just a few months ago. So I'm gonna guess that I was maybe 2 or 3 when that memory happened. I don't know. So for over 40 years, that's the only in-person interaction that I can recall with my father. And he's dead now. But that was not the point of this. Okay, I am back. I had to actually take a break for about an hour. I didn't expect those emotions to come up. That was overwhelming. That's a realization I don't think I've ever had, that I only have one in-person memory with my father. So that was a tough little heartbreak, whatever, to have. And I think that's going to guide what I'll talk about on this episode. Instead of pain, I guess I'll talk about my father. So I don't know much about him. He and my mother knew each other in high school, and all I know is that she kind of ran away to be with him, but I'm very unclear on the details of that. And I was born in Kentucky, and we lived in New York at some point for a little bit. And then I guess we went back to Kentucky, and apparently my father was very physically abusive to my mother and would beat her really bad. And when he would leave to go, if you know anything about the military, when they go kind of on order to the field or whatever it's called for a week or a few weeks at a time, well, he was in the military, so he would leave for a few weeks and would leave her with everything for me, but nothing for her, meaning no money and no food in the house. And the story that she told me was that when she decided to leave, she's always been adamant that he was never abusive to me, that I was always a daddy's girl and very spoiled, and he didn't take out his anger on me. But one day they had to move to a place that had a dishwasher, and he told her not to use it, and she used it. But this is when dishwashers were very new, because I was born in the 70s. So those were a newfangled thing, and I guess she used too much soap and it overflowed. So he got home and there were suds everywhere. And so he started beating her up in the kitchen, and she looked over and saw me playing in the bubbles. I was not aware of what was going on with them. I was just innocent little girl playing in the bubbles. And she said that was her deciding moment to leave. So one of the times that my father went on orders or to the field, she essentially escaped with me. She got money from somebody and got a Greyhound bus ticket and went to California to her family, and then divorced him. And from my understanding, that happened somewhere between the times that I was at age 2 to age 4. I don't know exactly when that happened. I don't know my entire origin story. I only know that it had to be after 2, because I have memories of sitting up and eating cereal. So I had to have been old enough to hold a spoon, which I assume was around 2. And then we had to have time to move to New York and then move back to Tennessee. I also couldn't have been more than 4 because I went to preschool in California, and that was my next set of memories. I had that first memory of being burned by an iron, and then my next memories are in California. The next situation that I had, or non-interaction with my father, was when my mom was she was in the military and was being sent to move abroad. So she somehow reached out to my father through his family. So she reached out to my father to let him know that I was leaving the country. And think it sounds, as I'm thinking of it as older, that it was more like you may not see her again. So the day that it was supposed to happen is when I was told about this. And I remember my mom getting me dressed in a special outfit, and I don't know what the outfit was, but I remember that it was a special outfit. She tried to make it feel like an important occasion. And she told me that my father was coming to visit. And I was like, okay. And at first I don't think I was really excited because I didn't understand. But I could tell her anticipation and my grandmother's anticipation. So that let me know this must be a big deal. So I played in my grandma's front yard all day, waiting and waiting. And he never showed up. I don't know what happened at all, but he never showed. And I don't recall my mom ever talking to me about that. I don't remember a follow-up conversation about, he didn't show up, it's okay, it's not your fault. I don't remember any of that happening. He just didn't show up, and then we left and went abroad. The next time I remember any interaction with him was as an adult. I'm trying to think. The next interaction that I believe I had with him, I'm probably remembering this incorrectly, but I believe he contacted me at some point around my graduation, like maybe right after high school, because I remember not being receptive to that, because my thought process was, well, I turned 18 and you don't have to pay child support, so that's the only reason why you're getting in contact with me. That was my thought. And then I moved to Florida. And then he had more children. His wife went to jail. Oh, this is turning into a very convoluted story. I'm going to have to do a second part because this is getting way too long. So how about I stop it at the last the last contact that I had with my father. Let's just do that. That'll be part 2 because this is getting long. So if you got through this, thanks for listening. You got to hear a breakthrough, like almost kind of live as I talked through it myself, and that was a rough one. So even if no one's listening, I got it out. And I guess I feel a little bit lighter, so thanks.